Attraction is not about cheap tricks, flashy gestures, or manipulative tactics designed to impress on the surface. Real attraction goes deeper. It comes from creating meaningful connections that leave a lasting impression long after the moment has passed. Most men mistakenly focus on external displays, believing more effort, louder actions, or material showiness is what draws women in. But the truth is, genuine attraction begins from within, radiating outward in subtle, powerful ways. When a man understands that attraction is built on presence, confidence, and emotional energy, everything changes. It is not about pretending to be someone else or constantly seeking validation. Instead, it is about mastering yourself, your emotions, your composure, and your silence. A high-value man does not chase, he attracts. And this attraction is irresistible because it is authentic, effortless, and deeply rooted in qualities that women instinctively respond to. In this video, we will uncover 7 timeless principles that high-value men use to cultivate natural attraction without gains. These are not gimmicks or pickup tricks. They are grounded in psychology, emotional intelligence, and self-mastery. From mastering the power of eye contact to using silence as a magnetic force, each principle will give you tools to stand out, connect on a deeper level, and leave a lasting impression wherever you go. We will begin with presence, the foundation of non-physical attraction, then move into subtle challenges that spark curiosity, the art of mystery, and the power of tone and language. You will discover how silence, something most men fear, can actually become one of your strongest tools in building intrigue and connection. These lessons will transform not just your dating life, but every relationship you build because they focus on what truly matters: authentic human connection. Number 1. The power of non-physical attraction. Most men underestimate just how much influence non-physical energy has in creating connection. It is not about height, looks, or wealth. It is about the way you carry yourself, the aura you project, and the emotional space you create for others. A man with quiet composure and confidence immediately commands attention. His presence alone communicates strength, security, and leadership without the need for flashy demonstrations. Non-physical attraction is rooted in subtle traits that women subconsciously notice. Eye contact, posture, tone of voice, and calmness under pressure all signal emotional maturity. When a man enters a room with unshakable composure, he does not need to fight for attention. It comes to him naturally. This steady presence creates a sense of safety and curiosity. Women are instinctively drawn to this type of man because he exudes stability, control, and quiet strength. Confidence is the cornerstone here, but it must not be confused with arrogance. True confidence is not about being loud, dominant, or boastful. Instead, it is about being comfortable in your own skin, carrying yourself with self-assurance, and having nothing to prove. The confident man does not chase approval because he already knows his worth. This type of energy cannot be faked. It radiates naturally, making him attractive without even trying. Alongside confidence, emotional intelligence plays a critical role in attraction. A man who listens deeply, pays attention, and responds with empathy demonstrates qualities far more magnetic than external status. Women are drawn to men who understand emotions, both their own and others. Being able to ask thoughtful questions, stay fully engaged, and validate her experiences shows maturity and depth. This makes her feel truly understood, something that resonates on a profound level. Another key ingredient in non-physical attraction is mystery. Mystery does not mean being cold or distant. It means revealing yourself in layers instead of all at once. When you hold back just enough, you spark curiosity. She begins to wonder about you, wanting to discover more. This natural intrigue makes every interaction exciting. Mystery invites her into a journey of discovery rather than handing her everything up front, which keeps attraction alive and growing. Authenticity is equally vital. In a world full of pretenders, a man who embraces his flaws and remains true to himself stands out. Authenticity communicates comfort, self-respect, and honesty. You do not need to wear masks or adopt fake personalities to be attractive. The high-value man is genuine, showing his character without fear. This authenticity builds trust and openness, making it easy for women to connect deeply with him. Respect and presence complete the picture of non-physical attraction. When a man listens without distraction, gives his full attention, and values the moment, he creates a powerful connection. Presence does not mean dominating a space. It means being fully engaged in it. The truth is, non-physical attraction often outweighs physical appearances. Looks may draw initial attention, but qualities like confidence, mystery, empathy, and authenticity sustain connection. High-value men master these traits, and as a result, they naturally stand out in any environment. Their energy, composure, and respect create bonds that are far deeper than surface-level charm. This is what makes them unforgettable and irresistible to women, time and time again. Number 2. How to make her feel truly seen. This is one of the most powerful skills a high-value man can master. Most men only listen to reply, they don't listen to understand. But when you give a woman your undivided attention, when you truly notice her tone, her body language, her excitement over small details, you make her feel valued in a way that most men never do. This creates an emotional connection that lasts. To make her feel seen, presence is everything. Put away distractions, silence your phone, and focus entirely on her. Presence is rare in today's world, which makes it incredibly attractive. When she feels that you are fully engaged, listening not only to her words but also to the emotions behind them, she feels safe. She realizes that you are not just another man waiting for his turn to speak, but someone who genuinely values her voice. This also requires you to notice the subtle details. The sparkle in her eyes when she talks about something she loves. The way her laughter shifts when she's truly happy. The quiet pauses when she's reflecting. These details reveal her inner world, and when you acknowledge them, you create a bond beyond surface-level interaction. It is in these moments that she feels not just heard but understood, something every woman craves deeply. Holding space is another essential part of making her feel seen. This means allowing her to share her thoughts and feelings without interruption or judgment. It's not about rushing in with advice or trying to fix everything. Sometimes, the most attractive thing a man can do is simply listen, nod, and be present. By doing this, you create a safe space where she feels free to express herself authentically, and trust begins to form. Validation is key. When she shares something personal, don't dismiss it or make light of it. Instead, acknowledge her perspective and emotions. Saying things like, "I can see why that matters to you," or "that sounds important," reinforces that her feelings are valued. This simple act of recognition makes her feel seen and appreciated. It tells her that her inner world has meaning in your eyes, and that is deeply attractive. Beyond validation, ask meaningful questions. Avoid shallow, routine small talk. Instead, dive into deeper conversations that allow her to express her passions, dreams, and values. Questions like, "What excites you most right now?" or "What's something you've always wanted to do?" create opportunities for her to open up. By showing genuine curiosity, you signal that you're interested in who she is beneath the surface, not just in the image she presents. Eye contact is another tool that cannot be overlooked. When you hold her gaze with calm confidence, you communicate presence without words. Eye contact is powerful because it says, "I'm here with you and I'm paying attention." The key is balance. Too little feels distracted. Too much feels invasive. But when done right, it deepens intimacy, makes her feel important, and reinforces the fact that she truly matters in that moment. Authenticity also plays a huge role in making her feel seen. Pretending, exaggerating, or trying too hard will always come across as insincere. The most magnetic men are those who show up as themselves, flaws and all. When you're genuine, she feels comfortable being genuine too. Authenticity creates trust, and trust is the foundation of attraction. When she feels she can be herself with you, she naturally wants to be around you more. Making her feel seen is not about grand gestures, it's about the little things done consistently. Remembering small details she mentions, encouraging her dreams, or noticing her moods goes further than trying to impress with status or money. These subtle demonstrations of attention tell her that you care about who she is. And when a woman feels cared for in this way, attraction is no longer something you chase, it's something that naturally grows. When you master the art of making her feel truly seen, you set yourself apart from nearly every other man she meets. Most men overlook this. They are too focused on themselves, their own stories, or how to look impressive. But when you flip the script and center your energy on understanding her, the dynamic changes completely. You become unforgettable, not because of what you show off, but because of how you make her feel. Number 3. The art of subtle challenge. Attraction thrives on balance. Too much comfort can become predictable, while too much resistance can create distance. The subtle challenge is about finding the perfect middle ground. It's the ability to keep things engaging, to spark curiosity, and to gently push her to think deeper. This doesn't mean playing games or being confrontational. It means showing that you value her, but you also value yourself. A subtle challenge might look like asking her thoughtful questions that make her pause and reflect. Instead of giving all the answers, you invite her to think in new ways. You might tease her lightly in a playful, respectful way that shows confidence, or you may set boundaries that communicate self-respect. These small acts create tension, the good kind of tension that keeps her intrigued and drawn toward you, eager to explore the connection further. The beauty of subtle challenge lies in how natural it feels. You're not forcing her to comply or pushing her into discomfort. Instead, you create moments where she has to rise to meet your energy. For example, if she playfully tests you, instead of reacting defensively, you respond with humor and calmness. This shows that you're grounded and not easily shaken. That balance of lightheartedness and strength is incredibly attractive to women. One of the most powerful forms of challenge is maintaining your standards. When you show that you won't bend your values just to impress her, you send a strong signal of self-respect. This doesn't mean being rigid or controlling, it means knowing your worth. A man who is willing to walk away rather than compromise his principles communicates strength. That type of quiet certainty makes her curious and inspired because it shows true confidence. Patience also plays a role in subtle challenge. Growth takes time, and attraction deepens gradually. Instead of rushing for results, you allow space for the connection to build. You don't force intimacy, nor do you pressure her into opening up. You remain steady, calm, and patient. This patience itself becomes a challenge because it's rare. Most men rush, but when you hold back slightly, you make her lean in, eager to discover more about you. Subtle challenges are also rooted in your ability to guide without controlling. Instead of telling her how to think or what to do, you plant seeds that encourage self-reflection. For instance, instead of advising, "You should handle it this way," you might ask, "How do you feel about it?" Or, "What do you think would happen if you tried something different?" These small nudges encourage growth, while still respecting her independence and perspective. Confidence is essential in delivering subtle challenges. A man who wavers or seeks approval will come off as insecure. But a man who delivers challenges with calm assurance creates intrigue. For example, if she says something you don't fully agree with, instead of nodding to please her, you can respond with curiosity. "That's interesting. Why do you see it that way?" This shows independence, critical thinking, and strength without creating unnecessary conflict. The art of subtle challenge also prevents boredom. When everything feels predictable, attraction fades. By keeping interactions engaging, dynamic, and slightly unpredictable, you inspire curiosity. She begins to wonder what you'll say next, how you'll respond, and what makes you different from the rest. This intrigue builds excitement. Subtle challenge, when delivered with respect and charm, ensures that the connection stays alive, fresh, and filled with energy. Number 4. Mastering the power of tone and language. Most men focus only on what to say, but they ignore how they say it. The truth is, tone often matters more than words. A calm, steady voice communicates confidence and composure. A slightly slower pace conveys control and certainty. Meanwhile, rushed, nervous chatter signals insecurity. Women pick up on these subtle cues instantly, and they respond strongly to a man whose voice carries authority and calm. Tone communicates more than content ever could. Imagine telling a woman, "I really enjoy spending time with you." Said too quickly, it feels casual, almost dismissive. But delivered with a calm pause, steady eye contact, and intentional tone, the same words feel powerful, intimate, and memorable. The difference isn't the phrase, it's the delivery. High-value men understand this and use tone as a tool to leave lasting impressions in every interaction. Language is another essential factor. Words have weight. A man who chooses words with care creates intrigue and depth. Instead of being overly direct with compliments, suggestive language sparks curiosity. For example, rather than saying "You're interesting," say, "There's something about you I can't quite figure out." This creates mystery and invites her to wonder what you see in her. That subtle choice of words makes the interaction unforgettable. The goal of mastering tone and language is not manipulation, it's authenticity with intention. When you speak with confidence, calmness, and presence, you naturally stand out. Women remember how you make them feel, not just what you say. A man whose tone is steady and words are deliberate creates a sense of safety, curiosity, and attraction all at once. This turns ordinary conversations into meaningful moments that echo long after they end. Another secret lies in pacing. A man who rushes to fill silence often reveals insecurity, but a man who embraces pauses, allowing silence to breathe between his words, draws people in. Those pauses create anticipation. They give her space to process, to wonder what's coming next. It feels deliberate, controlled, and powerful. Mastering this rhythm separates a man who blends into the background from a man who captivates the room with ease. In the end, mastering tone and language is about alignment, ensuring your words, delivery, and presence all match. If you say you're confident but your tone is shaky, the message is lost. But when your words and tone are in harmony, you become magnetic. People lean in when you speak. Women feel compelled to listen. This mastery transforms casual exchanges into unforgettable moments, proving that how you communicate is just as vital as what you communicate. Number 5. The eyes have it. Eye contact is one of the most powerful yet underrated tools of attraction. The eyes reveal confidence, focus, and authenticity without a single word. When you maintain steady, calm eye contact, you send a message: I'm here, I'm grounded, and I'm fully present with you. Most people avoid this level of intensity, which is why it feels so magnetic when a man embraces it with ease and composure. Eye contact is not about staring aggressively or trying to dominate. It's about holding her gaze a second longer than most people would. That extra beat creates intrigue. It communicates patience, confidence, and self-assurance. Women are deeply attuned to these signals. A man who maintains eye contact without nervousness is rare, and that rarity makes him unforgettable. In that moment, she feels like the only person in the room, and that is powerful. Think about the opposite. When a man constantly breaks eye contact, looks at his phone, or scans the room, it signals distraction or insecurity. It makes her feel like she's not important. But when you hold her gaze, even in silence, she feels acknowledged and valued. The simple act of staying locked in creates a current of intimacy. She begins to feel that there is something deeper about you, something worth discovering. The eyes also create tension, the good kind. In conversation, when there's a pause and you hold her gaze, she feels the weight of your attention. If she looks away, it's often because she feels the intensity but isn't uncomfortable by it. When she glances back, curious to see if you're still watching, that moment tells you everything. You've caught her interest, and she's wondering about your presence even in the silence. Eye contact also enhances trust. When someone speaks about something vulnerable, and you hold steady eye contact, it shows you're truly listening. You're not rushing to respond, not distracted, but fully immersed in her words. That quiet focus builds safety. She feels heard in a way most people never offer. The result? She associates your presence with comfort and connection, and that bond grows stronger every time you engage with her eyes. A slight smile can elevate this effect even further. When you pair confident eye contact with a subtle, calm smile, you send signals of warmth, intrigue, and assurance. It says, I'm relaxed, I enjoy this moment, and I'm not trying too hard. That smile softens intensity and turns it into magnetism. Combined with patience and stillness, it makes her feel the unique pull of someone who is completely secure in himself. Eye contact is more than just a glance, it's an unspoken conversation. It communicates desire, curiosity, respect, and confidence without a single word. When done right, it leaves a mark that lingers far beyond the moment. She won't forget the man who looked into her eyes with calm presence and made her feel like she mattered. The man who understands this doesn't need to say much because his eyes already say it all. Number 6. Building mystery, the power of being just out of reach. Mystery keeps attraction alive because it leaves space for curiosity. Most men destroy mystery by oversharing, rushing to prove themselves, or giving away every detail of their lives. Once everything is revealed, intrigue dies. But the man who reveals himself in layers, offering just enough for her to wonder about, becomes magnetic. She leans in, eager to learn what lies beneath the surface. Mystery isn't about being distant or cold. It's about pacing. Instead of unloading every story, you give glimpses. If she asks about your weekend, you don't need to give a full rundown. You might say, it was interesting, maybe I'll tell you about it sometime. That small tease sparks curiosity. Now, she's thinking about you, wondering what you did, and waiting for the moment you decide to share. That anticipation is irresistible. Mystery also means having a life beyond her. When your world doesn't revolve around seeking her validation, you become far more attractive. You have passions, goals, and pursuits that make you fulfill. Instead of begging for attention, you create a sense of independence. She sees that you don't need her approval, which paradoxically makes her want to be part of your world. Independence is alluring because it signals strength and emotional security. Another way to build mystery is by ending interactions on a high note. Most men drag conversations until they fizzle out, but the man who knows when to leave her wanting more is unforgettable. For example, after a great conversation, you might say, I've really enjoyed this, but I've got to run, we'll continue later. That exit creates anticipation. It leaves her replaying the interaction in her mind, eager for the next encounter. Ultimately, mystery is about revealing yourself in layers over time, not as a performance, but as a natural unfolding. Each glimpse invites her deeper into your world, keeping her engaged without overwhelming her. It transforms every interaction into an exploration. When she feels there's always more to discover, she stays intrigued, captivated, and connected. That sense of mystery is what separates ordinary men from high-value men who leave lasting impressions. Number 7. The art of restraint. Most men reveal too much, too quickly. They flood conversations with unnecessary details, hoping to impress or gain approval. But restraint creates a sense of power. When you choose your words carefully, speaking less, but with more weight, people listen. You don't need to prove yourself in every sentence. Silence, used wisely, becomes louder than words, because it communicates calm confidence and undeniable control. Restraint is not about being cold or closed off, it's about intentionality. You reveal only what matters, leaving space for curiosity to grow. A restrained man doesn't blurt out every thought. He allows silence to work in his favor. This makes each word he chooses feel deliberate, like a rare gem. Women notice this difference. It separates the man who talks endlessly to be heard from the man who speaks with purpose and impact. Think about how restraint shows up in action, not just words. A man who doesn't instantly respond to every message shows he values his time. A man who doesn't chase after validation proves he knows his worth. Restraint becomes a silent signal of strength. It shows discipline, self-control, and independence. Instead of being needy, you become rare. And what is rare is always more valuable, because people must earn access to it. Another side of restraint is emotional control. Life will test you, and women pay close attention to how you respond. Do you lose yourself in anger at small frustrations, or do you remain calm under pressure? The man who practices restraint in his emotions shows depth. He proves he is not ruled by impulse, but guided by discipline. That steadiness becomes magnetic, because it's a rare form of stability in a chaotic world. Restraint also creates contrast. When you rarely give away attention or affection, the moments you choose to express it become powerful. If you're constantly flattering her, the impact fades. But if you reserve your words and offer them sparingly, she treasures them more. Your approval becomes meaningful because it isn't freely given to everyone. That scarcity builds desire. Restraint, therefore, amplifies the value of everything you choose to share. This principle extends into physical presence as well. You don't always need to fill the space with movement or noise. Stillness can be a form of restraint that communicates composure. A calm, grounded man who isn't restless or fidgeting projects strength without effort. In a world where most people can't sit still, that quiet control stands out. Restraint in movement shows mastery of self, and mastery of self is irresistible. Facial expressions play a crucial role in body language. A calm, steady gaze paired with a slight smile communicates warmth and composure. Overly exaggerated expressions, however, feel forced or insecure. The man who controls his expressions projects emotional stability. He doesn't reveal panic or desperation. Instead, his face reflects confidence and serenity. Women respond deeply to this kind of expression because it signals trustworthiness and strength, two qualities they find irresistible. Another powerful element of body language is space. Confident men don't shrink themselves. They claim space naturally. Whether sitting or standing, they occupy space without apology, not by spreading aggressively, but by resting comfortably, as if they belong. This sends the message that they are at ease wherever they are. Women pick up on this subtle confidence. It communicates self-worth without words. Space is presence, and presence is power. Body language also reflects internal state. If you feel anxious, it shows. If you feel grounded, it radiates. This is why true confidence begins inside. When your mind is calm and centered, your body mirrors it effortlessly. You stand taller, move slower, and project certainty without effort. Women can sense authenticity. They are drawn to men whose body language matches their inner state because it feels natural, not performed. Alignment is key. The power of touch also belongs here, though it must be used wisely. A light, respectful touch on the arm during laughter can build connection. But touch that's forced or overly eager communicates desperation. The man who understands timing and restraint with touch amplifies attraction. He doesn't seek permission with every movement, yet he respects boundaries. That balance shows confidence and awareness. making every gesture feel intentional and meaningful. Confidence in body language also means comfort with stillness. Nervous men often fill silence with movement, stepping, shifting, fidgeting. Confident men embrace stillness. They can sit quietly, relaxed, unbothered by silence. This calm control is rare, which is why it's magnetic. Stillness communicates that you're not restless or desperate for validation. You're grounded, self-assured, and comfortable in your own skin. That presence creates an aura of quiet strength that women admire deeply. Mastering body language isn't about faking postures or mimicking gestures. It's about aligning your external presence with internal confidence. When you truly feel secure in yourself, your body naturally reflects it. But until then, practicing posture, slowing your movements, and being mindful of gestures can reshape how others see you. Over time, it becomes natural. The goal isn't performance, it's authenticity, where your presence feels powerful without trying. Ultimately, commanding body language sets the tone for everything else. Before you speak, before you smile, before you connect, your body announces you. It tells the world whether you shrink or rise. Women feel it instantly, often before they've heard a single word. The man whose body language communicates calm, strength, openness, and control doesn't need to convince anyone of his value. His presence speaks first, and it speaks loudly. Number 10. The strength of independence. Nothing is more magnetic than a man who thrives on his own. Independence isn't about rejecting connection, it's about not needing it for validation. When a man has his own goals, passions, and direction, he becomes far more attractive. Women sense when a man is fulfilled without relying on them. That fulfillment makes them want to be part of his world, not the center of it. True independence starts with self-reliance. A high-value man doesn't wait for others to give him purpose. He builds it himself, whether through career, hobbies, or personal growth. His life is full before romance enters the picture. This doesn't mean he avoids relationships, it means he doesn't seek them out of emptiness. Women respect and admire this because it shows strength. It tells them he chooses love, not because he needs it but because he wants it. Financial independence is part of this foundation. A man who can provide for himself communicates responsibility and maturity. He isn't looking for someone to rescue him, nor is he trying to buy affection. Instead, his stability shows that he's grounded and reliable. Women are naturally drawn to men who handle their responsibilities. Independence in this sense isn't about wealth, it's about self-sufficiency. That quiet security creates safety and attraction simultaneously.